Hi everyone, and welcome back to V's Budget. For the returning subscribers, then welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, then hi, my name is V and I'm a single mum of one trying to live her best life on a budget. Welcome, lovely to have you, and thank you so much for my welcome back since the last video that I have uploaded. If you haven't yet watched it, then please feel free to check on the link at the top of the screen right now and go and catch up on what's been happening with my life. But today is the proper first video back in terms of my routine. We've done the February monthly budget in the previous video, so today we're going to be doing the stuffing for the February sinking funds and a couple of spending pots, you will see. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay, so this might be a little bit confusing to some, but I want to highlight a couple of things before I start. Number one is my starting balance from the end of January in my main current account was £10,005.02. I got paid on the 31st of January, so today, that was 3,587. However, I do have 13,867.72 in the account, which doesn't actually technically add up. And that is because my partner transferred some money over to my account already, which I will go through in a second. So if you're looking at those two figures and you're like, they don't add up, but there is a reason for it. And the other thing is that technically speaking, what is my current account right now shouldn't be in my current account. I have 3 months expenses, which is the equivalent of £9,000, and a £1,000 emergency fund that I really need to move out of there and take advantage of some decent saving rates. So that is what I will be doing in the coming month, and hopefully maybe not the emergency fund. The emergency fund can maybe go somewhere else, but definitely the 3 months expenses, which I have no plan to touch. They really shouldn't be sitting in my current account. So yeah, so basically the way that this works is that if you take my account balance, which is the 13,867, minus the 9,000, because you don't want to touch that, minus the 1,000 emergency fund, because we don't want to touch that either, that gives me a balance of 3,867.72. Now, normally I would run a zero-based budget, so this balance should be zero. But the only reason why it isn't is because I just wanted to highlight that I actually have just submitted some expenses today for mileage, and that should come in at some point in February, and I should have an extra £50. But for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to remove that so that it shows that I only have £6.83 that should be left within the account. But over the course of the month, I will hopefully, once my expenses get approved, mention this £50. So for context, that's where it comes from. So yeah, so basically, I say zero base as long as it's under £10. I kind of leave that as a little sort of account buffer. So you will see on screen now, I'll put a little picture. This is what my balance is in my current account, £13,867.72. So let's start. Today we're going to be focusing on prepping myself for the month, moving things into the accounts as they should be for my bills, and then we're going to focus on the sinking funds. So let's start with that. Now, first things first, I need to move some money to my Santander account. If you don't have a Santander cashback account, I would highly recommend it. It does come with a £2 fee, but I get about £8 cashback every month. So basically, minus the fee is £6, which over the course of the year is actually £72 extra that I earn just for having that account. So it's a really good thing to be doing. So what comes out of the account is my mortgage, my Sky, my Octopus, my council tax, My Thames Water, sorry, forgot that one. And my monthly mobile phone bill and my Santander account fee. So if I actually add this all up, I need to transfer 1,134.49, and you'll see that at the bottom here, 1134.49. So let's do that. So that has gone over, that has gone over, that has gone over, that has gone over. Yes, yes. £10. So now the account balance on my account, as you can see on screen, is 12,733.23, which still gives me that £6.83 left over. The reason why these are in orange is because I have transferred them over to my Santander account, but they won't turn green until they've physically gone out of the account, which obviously won't start until tomorrow, as in the 1st of February. So that bit is done. Now we're going to skip the sinking funds and Monzo monthly transfer, because I'll do that in a minute. Savings account. I have actually changed my mind on this, and I'm only going to put £50 on here, because technically speaking, this savings account should be money that I just don't touch at all. And I feel like for one reason or the other, I keep touching it. So what I decided to do instead is I really want to focus on my long-term savings. So the minimum is £50 a month. And then everything else, if it needs to be redistributed, and I'll tell you why in just a second, it can do that. So at the moment, I'm just going to go onto my savings account. I am going to move £50 onto my savings. And right now I only have £100 and £100.46, because like I keep dipping into it. So there's no point me trying to put £100 away and then dipping out of it. I kind of want to put the money and it's just going to stay there and build for the future rather than use it. So anyway, that's my thing. Netflix comes out of that account, so I'm not going to touch it. Clara, I am also going to put £50 into her account now. So that's been done. And that is actually going to be green. Oh, wrong green. Clara's, I am going to do right now. That has gone out. Life insurance will go out from this account. Pet insurance will go out from this account. Apple storage and Vince treatment. Car loan is actually gonna come out as well. So I'm going to transfer that money onto my Monzo because it has its own pot, but I'm going to record that as a separate transaction just because I want to make sure that it's trackable. So it's not part of this figure, if you know what I mean. I know it's a little bit weird, but that would make callers. So that's been done. TV license will come out of that account. Now, the reason why I have that money sat, that bigger balance, is because my partner Ray has actually sent me his share of the holiday that we are paying. So if you've missed my previous video, please go back. I'll explain everything. But basically, we have booked a holiday to Spain, and we have got a balance on my credit card of £1,993 and 13 pence that we need to be settling. Now, that means that each of us have got to pay £175 per month for the month of February. And if we go back to my tab, you'll be able to see on the left-hand side here that the balance is £1,993.13 and we do need to pay £350. So he has basically sent me his share, his £175. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pay that to the credit card. Buffer, obviously that will stay in the account. Peloton will come out of the account. Disney. Now Disney is another one. So for those of you that have again missed the video, please go back and watch that. It's the one just before this one. But we also have booked a Disney holiday. And basically every month we're putting away £50 as a minimum. So I have got £75 in a Monzo pot. I need to put £50 this month. Yes. And my partner Ray has to put £50. Now, I have this in the £75 in a separate pot. This is my February, which I'm going to be transferring. And this is my partner's last 2 months. So that is why it's 150, because it is his money plus my February money that needs to go into the Disney pot. So again, I'm going to be tracking this separately. Even though it is going into a Monzo pot, I know you guys are probably sitting there going, you're absolutely nuts. And I am, but it makes sense in my head, so bear with me. And we're not going until February next year, so we've got loads of time. But for the moment, just not much point overpaying too much. To be honest, I will 100% pay more money into it, because if you are adding how much we should be saving with pocket money, it comes to about 134. So I try and put more money, even though, to be honest, we do have, if I've added it here, we do have months after we finish paying the Disney bill where we can get pocket money. But as I say, every little helps. So there you go. So yeah, Disney's next February. And you can pay in 6 payments. So I'm just going to get to the end of this month, and the last day of the month, I'll just process a payment. I think it's up to 6. You don't have to have 6 as long as it's paid by the 11th of December next year. But I think it's good practice to just, you know, do it every couple of months, and then just kind of knowing that your balance is going down as well. In an ideal world, I'd like to pay for the whole holiday and then just pay the balance off on the credit card and have that on the credit card to pay off, rather than having the debt with Disney. Because also there's certain things that I'd like to add to the booking, like I really want to get the princess lunch for the kids, but I can't book that because my balance needs to be 0 before I'm able to book it. Anyway, so that's where we are. So that is the bills. The only thing will be the childcare, but I think we're going to do that in a minute, which again is a little bit like tipsy-turvy, but bear with me. So at the moment then, the balance is 12,178.23, which again, it leaves me that 56.83, because if you remember, I only put £50 and not 100 in here. So it leaves me with an extra £50, and I will show you where that goes in a second. In fact, I'm going to add it to this. So it won't be 1,940, it'll be 1,990, and that will be taken down to 683. So I am going to be putting my sinking funds in, which is £970, and I'm going to be putting my monthly Monzo charges on here, which is the 130. So I'm not going to do my weekly amounts, because technically I am still sat in the last week of January, and I actually do have a Monzo balance currently. So the account is not on 0. We'll get to that in a second, but for the purpose of this exercise, we are going to be transferring 1,100. So I have done that. I've just transferred the 1,100 and now the balance is 11,078.23, which leaves me with that £6.83. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to go over to Monzo and I'm going to be screen sharing. So hopefully you will see what I see. So guys, this is where we are. So at the moment, there is £1,422 in the Monzo account. Now, some of that money is from my January money. We are on week 5 and I am meant to be having £27, 42 left, but there's still the £15 from the train that needs to come out from today. So I've got about 42 in there. So once I finish allocating everything, I should still have a balance on my Monzo account. So what we need to do is we need to just allocate some money out. Now, first things first, if you remember from the bills, we put £130 in car loan. So that's what we're going to do. There is already, sorry about this, there's already £120. Where's my car loan tracker? There we go. There's already £120 from January, so I'm going to add £130 for February, and that is coming in now. So there's £250 into the car loan account. Whee! Exciting. Then we also put some Disney money in there. So let's go and find Disney. Somewhere here. Yes, perfect. So as I said, I had £75 in there. And it was my partner's £100 for January and February that came through and my February charge. So we're going to add £150 to the Disney pot and that will take it to 225, which is great, which means that we've got 1468.72 left to pay. And that we have paid 225 thus far. Do ignore the percentage of the goals. I mean, that is totally inaccurate. In fact, let's change it together. Because this should be, to be honest, I'm just going to put the actual Disney balance in here, which is 1141.70. Great, so we're 20% there, basically. Fantastic. So I believe that was everything from the bills. Then down here, once a month, rather than putting it on a weekly, I will transfer £50 for fuel. And guys, I don't drive my car too much, even though I spend so much money on it, but I actually don't use a lot of fuel because everything is literally within like a 2-mile radius of my house. The bonus of living in London, I guess. So yeah, so I'm only putting £50 on for fuel, and then I'm going to put £80 for my cleaner who comes every other week. So that is done. So if I go back to my current account, there is £1,012.42. Now I'm going to transfer the £970 that need to go on to my sinking funds, which are in my hyper jar, and the balance then should just be what I actually have left for the remainder of my last week of January. And as you can see, we have got 42 left, which has nothing to do with the month of February. That is still in the month of January for me, but you know, it's how things work. Okay, so now let's move on to Hyperjar for sinking funds. So we are in Hyperjar, we are doing sinking funds today, and we're just going to run through things quite quickly. I don't want to keep this video super long, but annual payments is currently got £100 in there. We are going to be adding an extra £50 from the wallet. And that will take it to 150. I complete these at the end of the month to just see how much I've used and, you know, what is the actual fluctuation of the jars. But yeah. Next is home insurance and home emergency. This is due in April, trying to get £360. And today, the balance that we're starting with is £290. But we are going to be adding £30 from the wallet, which will take it to, £320. And we've only got a few months left for this April renewal, so we will have March and April, so we'll have £60 coming onto this. However, it is likely that I may get quotes at the end of March, so we'll see. I'm hoping that that will be enough, because that will be really annoying if it wasn't. Next is car insurance, and because I just got my car in December, and my insurance, basically I transferred my old insurance to my new insurance, which covered me for about a month, and then in January I had to get new insurance, so this is why this is on zero. So we're starting on zero, and we are actually adding £60 from the wallet into the car insurance, which will give it a balance of £60, which is great. Next is car maintenance, and car maintenance has got £85 in there. We are putting £100 from the wallet, giving it £185. Clara activity is for her ballet. She does ballet on a Monday. The balance is really low because we've just basically started, and I've had to buy all of her uniform, shoes, and paid for the term, which will take us to the Easter term. Myself and her dad share this expense, but I do pay a little bit more into this account just to cover myself, just in case her dad, for whatever reason, is not going to be able to do it. So anyway, won't bore you with that, but essentially we started with £5.47, and now we're on £45.47, which is basically, yeah, a good enough amount to get me to cover the full term by myself if I need to be. Next is Clara's birthday activity. We're starting with £205, and as per every month, I add £25. This is for a potential party or gathering or anything like that. I just want to make sure that it doesn't become a huge expense for the month of March, which is when her birthday is. So I do it in bits essentially, and I put a little bit aside every month. She's not going to be having a party as such this year. We're going to have just like a little tea gathering with a few of her little friends, only about 5, and then I'm hoping to take her into London for the day, take her to the aquarium, maybe like the Jungle Cafe. You know, she's never been to London before. She's only, well, it'll be her 5th birthday, but she's only 4. So with the pandemic and everything, we never did the London thing. So yeah, I think I'd like to start doing things with her. Next, it is gifts, and currently we have £124.37. Every month I like to add £40, and this is basically for birthdays and special occasions, and that will take it to £164.37. I do have a big month coming up in March because it is my stepson, my partner, and Clara's birthday. So potentially this will need to be bulked up, but we'll see where we get to. Next, it is Christmas, and we're starting Christmas with a £50 balance, which was the first payment from January. Every month, Christmas gets £50. And yeah, it worked really well last year. This year we have the kids, so I may need to top it up a little bit towards the end of the year, but I think £600 is a fairly good amount to get us started. So first £100 in Christmas. So exciting. Next, we have got holiday. Now, I am going to put my holiday money in here for the moment. And the reason why that is because my credit card minimum payment is going to come out in the next couple of days. So I just want to make sure, because if I put the money now into the account, I think it will still take the minimum payment as extra, and I haven't planned for that. So although I've put Ray's share of the holiday payment onto the credit card, I'm not yet going to put mine. I'm just going to wait to see how much comes out as the minimum payment, and then I'm just going to do it that way because it would come out of my current account, so I'll basically have to pay myself back. I hope it makes sense, but yeah, I'm just putting in here as a hold, but it will go on the credit card before the end of this month. So that was on 0, and that will pretty much always be on 0. Next is medical. Next is going on to Hyperjar thing, is electrical tech, which is a new envelope for me. I'm starting it this month, and it's basically in case anything electrical or tech Y gets broken. I know technically this should be covered by the emergency fund, but I just wanted to start a specific fund for it. So yeah, that's the first £50. Very excited. And next is home. As I've explained in my previous video, home is also a new entry, a new pot for me. And this is not for soft furnishings. It is for big work that I want to get done in the house, like having my bathroom redone or my windows replaced or anything like that. My garden right now is my priority. Between now and the summer, I want to put enough money in this pot to be able to get a gardener around to really start off my garden in the spring and just like eradicate everything that needs to be eradicated. Next is medical. It is on 0 because I just bought some glasses. Yes, if you have been following me for a while, you'll know it's been a while that I've been talking about getting glasses, but I've managed. I can actually see again. So we're going to put £40 because we want to maintain this up and running quite a bit. And yeah, very happy that that is going to be rebuilt again. Next, let's do Vinny. He is getting £20. We're starting with 20. It was emptied in December because he had a scale and polish that was rather expensive. I think it ended up being £350 or £340. So right now he's had that. He doesn't need to have that anymore anytime soon, which means that any money that I'm saving in his pot now is going to go towards his yearly checkup, and I'd like to build it up just in case anything happens. He's an old boy, you see. He's 15 this year. So I think we just need to make sure that in terms of either insurance success or anything that the insurance won't cover, that there is a little bit of money aside for him. So I'm happy to put £20 aside. To be honest, his checkup is only about £60 a year, which is 3 months worth. So if I can save an extra sort of £200 for the year in case of anything happens, then I'll be happy with that. And then last but not least, we have the school pot, and that is a starting of 53293. Now I know it sounds like a lot, and as you can see, we're adding an extra 190, which will take it to 722.93. I know it sounds a lot, but bear with me. What I'm going to do this month at some point is I am actually going to have to pay £158 into the Spring 2 childcare term. So I pay for after school club for Clara. It's £198 for the after half term fee. So we get the invoice at half term, and that will cover until the Easter break. It's £198. It'll be 12 sessions. I get £40 off because I pay through the childcare account, which means that I need to put £158 in the childcare account. Now, you're probably wondering, yes, that is still a hefty balance though compared to what you've got in there. Totally get that. And the reason that is, as I always explain, is because my school account not only has after school club fees, it also has her uniform, the 2 weeks of camp that she will have to attend in the summer, and potentially more than 2, just simply because I don't have as many holidays available to cover the full 6 weeks off. and the fees that I pay yearly to the school, which is about £60. So that is why I pay so much into the childcare account. So if you remember, I had changed this amount from 1940 to 1990 because I'd only put £50 instead of 100 in the savings account. So I shifted an extra £50 in here, and in fact this should be 1150, but I didn't end up transferring it. So I have transferred it now into my Monzo, and basically that is going to go in this pot called will. Now, I have contacted a solicitor who has drafted a will. I'm just very conscious that I am a single mum with an ex-husband, with family abroad, etc. So I thought it would be really important for me to set up my wishes should anything happen to me, so that Clara is protected. And for me to do that, it is actually costing about £500. I think it's £480. And that invoice is going to be coming in very soon. Now, this is not an expense I have planned for, and it is highly likely going to be going on the credit card. But what I'm going to do is I am going to try my hardest to really pay as much off for the month of February, because I think I can. You know, I give myself about £200 a week. Even if I put £25 here and there, well, that's going to make a lot of a difference. So if you remember, I also had about £50 worth of expense money that I am potentially going to get in the middle of this month or at the end of this month. That money is also going to go onto the will, which straight away will take it to about £220, which would basically be halfway there, more or less, in terms of paying this bill. So it'll just get done. I'm not worried about it. It'll just get done, and every so often I'll just end up putting a little bit of money here and there. So not worried about that. So my balance on my current account is now £1,028.23, which again leaves us with the £6.83.
Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thank you for listening to my rambling on for nearly half an hour, but I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope that this video has given you some ideas that you can perhaps apply to your budget. So yes, I look forward to having you back to see how I'm going to get on with my first week of February for my spending pots. But until then, thank you once again very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.